to the peacock. Because there's a reason why God did not compare us to the peacock. He compared us to an eagle. Why? This is still, for those of you just joining us, this is just preamble of the main teaching that we are starting this week. It's a series on becoming an eagle citizen. And we are comparing the eagle to other citizens. So let's look at the eagle and the peacock. The Bible says, those that wait upon the Lord shall mount on wings of eagles, as eagles, not as peacocks. And I'm so glad that God didn't say I will be a peacock, because the peacock is a flashy bird. It likes to show off. Have you looked at the peacock, how beautiful they look? The peacock is a proud bird. It's full of ego. The peacock is self-centered. The peacock feels superior to everybody. I don't know if you know somebody like that. The peacock wants you to believe it is more than what it is. When you come near it, I don't know if you have seen peacock before. Those of you living abroad, maybe you have not, because they do allow birds here. But most of us in Africa, you've seen it on TV. When you come near a peacock, it shows you its color. It flaps its wings. It opens up its wings so that you can see how beautiful it is. Same way, there are peacock Christians. These are Christians who want you to believe they are more than what they are. They want to be noticed. They want to show you their religiosity about how many Bible passages they know, even when it doesn't even apply to the situation at hand. The peacock Christian lives in a house he cannot afford and drives a car he cannot pay for. When you see people doing that, who call themselves Christians, they are operating with the peacock spirit. And many of them have been guilty of it. Somebody doesn't have a job, wants to do wedding, but he wants to spend $5 million on a wedding. He's thinking about how to go borrow somebody's car. Again, I'm not trying to condemn, like I said when I prayed earlier. Let this word chastise those that needs to be chastised. Let it motivate those that need to be motivated. I'm not telling you this because I've not been there before. I've been there myself. When I did my own wedding, I called Ayuba. Ayuba was the hottest guy in town that I just came out. I'm talking 1992 or 93. He was the hottest act in town. I spent millions in 1992 money to do wedding. I don't know how stupid one can be. Every time I watch my wedding video now, I'm embarrassed. Because I got on that dancing floor, I spent, I don't know, maybe 1 million naira. I'm talking 1992 money, guys. God has really blessed me at a very young age. I stayed on that thing, and I started spraying money like a maniac. When I watch that video now, I'm so embarrassed. Why? That's a peacock spirit showing off. Who are you showing off for? Somebody who cannot afford a car goes to borrow money to buy a car, and then he's sweating. You want to marry, you know you don't have the money to do the wedding, but you want to do a big wedding anyway to impress who? Peacock spirit. So you go and borrow a limousine or your friend's or your uncle's car. When everybody knows you don't have a car, I don't know why you think they impress them. The people who are coming to your wedding, your friends, they know you don't have a car. They know you borrowed it. Why are you doing that? Why not just marry your wife? It is Okada you can take Okada and go home and go start your wedding. Yes. Why will you be embarrassed about that? All that money that you're going to spend on that your wedding, would it be better if you used to buy materials in the house that you and your husband or wife will live in? That money that you're going to use go rent a hall to feed 500 people who don't even like you. If you use that money to give your wife to start a business while you start hustling, don't you think that would be a better money spent so that when you get broke, your wife can still take care of the family? I advise people of this all the time now. And I tell them straight that, yes, I had a big wedding, but if I were to wed today, there is no way I am going to spend extravagant money to do wedding. Now, in my case, it's even better. All the money I spent was my money. I didn't borrow any money. God has blessed me. So if you have a lot of money to spend and it's not going to cripple you, by all means, if you want to satisfy yourself, money is to be spent now. I'm not against luxury. I'm not against enjoying yourself. But you want to do it with the spirit of an eagle, not the spirit of a peacock. Don't spend money you don't have. To God be the glory, and not because I knew better, but that's just how it was. I was blessed, I had money, so I spent a lot of the money. I bought all the stuff myself, even bought the stuff for some of my family members. But I'm sure then, if I didn't have the money, I probably would have gone to borrow too. So I'm not trying to say it to make myself feel good. I was fortunate that I had the money to spend that. So I didn't have to borrow. But a lot of people have entered borrow over wedding. That 2 years after you got married, you are still settling debt that you used to prepare food for one day. For people who are still gossiping about you anyway. Even the car that you are trying to use to impress them, all those tuxedo that you went to rent. When you are getting to the car, some of your colleagues are laughing at you behind you. They are arguing. They say, oh, that car belongs to Uncle so and so. So there's someone that are going to be saying, look at this one. Tomorrow is going to be coming to ask me. Some of them will fight and become your enemy because somebody didn't give them rice. You are not there, but they're going to hold you that for the next 5 years that they came to your wedding. Nobody gave them food. So why take yourself through that stress? Sorry, I'm diverting too much into wedding this time. What I'm saying is that we need to cut our coat according to our size. You cannot live on borrowed money. There's a peacock existence. That's a peacock style. Peacocks like show off. They like to show off, though they are not going anywhere. The peacock Christian lives in a house he cannot afford. That's a car he cannot pay for. The peacock Christian is shiny on the outside, but very empty on the inside. The peacock Christian is self-centered. The peacock Christian is thinking about his own need. The Bible says, love your neighbor as yourself, as we are celebrating the month of ministry this month. But the peacock does not bless anybody with the little time they have or with the little position that they have. The Bible says that we should not be weary in doing good, particularly to those of the household of faith. But for the peacock Christian, nobody can say, I'm standing here because of this brother or because of this sister who stepped up to help me when I had a need. Begin to search your spirit. Are you a peacock Christian or are you an eagle? Who have you been a blessing to? Who can stand up and say, that brother helped me, that sister helped me when I had a need? That's what ministry is all about. But we are not compared to the peacock. We are called to rise as eagles. Eagle citizens do not get full of their own ego. Eagle citizens rise above their personal needs. Eagle citizens serve in the house without demanding to be noticed. Eagle citizens enjoy planting seeds into the life of others. Is there any eagle citizen in the house today? Even over the next week, we are going to be unpacking all the characteristics of an eagle and how you can be part of it. I'm done today. My time is out. Next week, we will talk about, we compare the eagle to 3 or 4 more creatures, more birds. Then we go into the characteristics one by one of what makes an eagle, how to become an eagle Christian. This is so critical in a time like this. We need people who can step up and transform the society. And the only way you can do that is to operate with the eagle spirit, not the penguin spirit, not the chicken spirit, not the parrot spirit that many of us are exhibiting on different levels now. And I'm believing God for you right now. I'm believing that God will do something great in your life this season. I believe that God will work in your mind. God will transform you. This is the time for new thinking. This is the time for where our youths need to start thinking different. Don't think like the way your loser parents thought. So that our loser parents, or our parents who could not take us to the next level, let me not call them losers. That's a bad word. They operated at the level that they can. But you cannot do the same thing the way those before you have done it and then expect a different result. That's why our country, Nigeria, needs to go to the next level. We can't keep doing things the way those who came before us did, whether they are good or bad. If we want something different, we got to do something different. May the Lord bless you really good. May the Lord expand what we have had this morning. May the Lord give you a new spirit. May the Lord give you a new motivation for life. May the Lord give you a new direction so that you can begin to fly. Wherever you have been shut down right now by circumstances around you, may the Lord lift you up. Wherever right now you have been edged around by circumstances, may the Lord loosen the bonds on your life. May you begin to fly for who you are. I end with this story. I think it was Dr. Miles that told this story. I can't remember, or I read it somewhere. The story of an eagle. The eagle, when the parent gave birth to it, something happened, and the parent went to look for food before it came. This eagle have been taken away by what do they call birds now? Is it ostrich now? By this bigger chicken. I forgot the name. Call them chickens. So they raised up this eagle to be like a chicken. This eagle, when he grew up, because he had been given the mentality of a chicken, when he saw an eagle fly, he was asking the other chicken, I wish I can be like that eagle. It has been edged. I'll tell you the concluding part of that next week. It was amazing. That eagle edge was limited by the circumstances around him, by the areas he grew up, by the mentality of people around him. It took something different to be able to let him to fly as the eagle he was meant to be. You cannot rise above the level of your association. Your mentality cannot grow beyond the mentality of those who mentor you. That's where you begin to think, who are your 5 best? You cannot be better than them. That's a depressed thought right there. If you do, when you leave this sermon today, I want you to sit down, write the names of your 5 closest friends. If you don't like their situation in life, the kind of money they have, the kind of environment they operate in, the kind of level of influence they have, know this for a fact, you cannot rise above that. So you might have to change friends. It's brutal, but I'm telling you the truth. Who is your mentor? If your mentor, if your mentor is even below your own awareness, you can never rise above your mentor. Because your mentor will necessarily limit you by what he knows. He will keep pushing at you what he knows, not because he's bad, because that's what he knew. If you want to go up, you got to get a mentor that is higher than you. Your mentor cannot be on the same level with you. That's why I tell my workers, I tell my pastors, I'm a pastor, we're not friends. I'm your mentor. The day you see me as equal to you in terms of the mentality, in terms of achievement, you need another pastor. It's just the way it is. I can't take you beyond the level that I am. So when you feel that you have gotten to my level, when you feel that you know everything that I know and you have the same attitude that I have, then you need to get another. You can still be a pastor, it's okay, but you need to another mentor if you want to go to a higher level, even higher mentors right now. I've changed mentors several times this last 4 years. Take them, by the time I'm around them 3 months, I realize that even I'm higher than this guy. I drop him like a hot potato. Look for a higher one. There's nothing sentimental about it. You cannot rise above the person training you.